So, welcome to SM Coaching number 77, and today I'm going to share with you about the online marketing ecosystem. Well, this is a good session for you to ask me anything about the online marketing ecosystem that I'm going to be sharing with you. Point to note that we're not referring to the internet or the online world in general, but the marketing aspect of the online world. Why is it that it's necessary for us to discuss about this? Well, as a reference, here are some questions you need to ask yourself. What is the greatest challenge you are facing in online marketing today? Do you have a system to build a long term sustainable online business? If so, do you fully understand how to implement their system? If not, how do you plan to succeed in online marketing then? So you can see here that by just going through a bit of yes no's with you, it is not difficult to establish where you are in terms of your online success. And to me, I would say that the fastest way to succeed is to follow the path of someone who has already taken the path that you want to travel. Does it make sense, isn't it? If I want to learn how to fly a plane, I'm going to be learning it from someone who already knows how to fly a plane. And what you don't really want to do is to learn from someone who is also learning how to fly a plane. Well, because the guy has his own struggles, and both of you are not necessarily the same. His strength may be a weakness and the other way around. But it seems to me that that's what people are doing today. They get into groups, form mastermind groups, and try to help each other. But to me, at best, it seems to be blind leading the blind. Or feel good, people coming together to feel good that they are knowledgeable, maybe, but not achieving any real level of monetary success. So let's start this whole discussion. It's a discussion because I'm going to give you a chance to ask questions later on by calibrating where I'm coming from. And where I'm coming from is to make you aware that my deep knowledge in digital marketing is the reason why I'm able to bring food back home to the table and live a lifestyle most people would, I guess, be envy about. So I'm leveraging my knowledge of the internet to build businesses around my knowledge, monetize those businesses, and create the lifestyle that I'm looking for. And that should also be your goal. But again, different people have, I guess, different level of knowledge, and that's totally fine. What I'm trying to tell you is that you do not need to have the same knowledge as I do to make money, to get started, to create, to get to your first million, even so. And that should be good news. And of course, you're going to be asking, how do you go about doing it? Well, you embrace a system. And we're going to talk about that. But before we get into the system part of the online marketing ecosystem, let's look at the universal success framework. So, the universal success framework or formula to me is as follows. Number one is the mindset. The reason why specific or certain entrepreneurs succeed and many don't is not because they necessarily have a better system. It's because they have a better mindset. I want all of you to understand this. Friends, our mind is our greatest asset, but we don't seem to necessarily know how to tap the mind. And of course, one of the things about entrepreneurship that I like to say is that it starts by learning how to ask the right questions. And that, at this beginner stage, many people get it wrong. Like, for example, again, going back to high price training courses, the first thing they want to ask is how much. That is the wrong question. The right question is, if I follow everything you tell me to do, can I get to my objective? Isn't it true? Now, if you think that a high price internet marketing course does not make sense, well, let me take you into the danger zone. Let's look at Forex trading, for example. I've led my closer students into the Forex world, and I'm fully aware that Forex is a highly risky instrument. But again, so is the gun a highly dangerous instrument. A gun can kill a person, obviously, right? Used wrongly. But it depends on who is holding on to the gun. In many cases, like in Singapore, a gun is rarely used. It doesn't mean that no one is using a gun. While every police guy, every army guy guarding a compound has guns. But the gun does not necessarily have to be fired to be effective. So, my point to you is that a lot of people are not trained to ask the right questions. Where I was leading to was this: the Forex training that I led some of my top students to is the highest price Forex trading, potentially, possibly in the world. But it's because that these people know me, they trust me, and therefore they trust my recommendation. That in this world of financial trading, friends, cheap is not good. Okay, cheap is not necessarily good, because yes, you can invest 5 figures of hard-earned cash in a forex school, in one forex school, or you can invest 2 figures in a forex school. Can you imagine this today? That there are forex institutions, so-called schools, supposed schools today, charging you less than $100 to come to class. Now, does it mean that's great? It's good. It's good value for money? Well, are you kidding me? The question is this: what's the objective of attending a forex class? That's a question you have to ask. What's the objective of attending the forex class? And the answer would be to what? To make money work for you. So, you refine the question: if I follow your forex strategy, will I be profitable? And of course, this leads to the next point. Of course, they're going to say yes. So they say, since, how can you assure me? Then your next question would be, how can you assure me that what you're saying is true? Well, the obvious lead in would be, well, since you're confident that I could make money if I followed your forex strategy, can you show me evidence of past students or even yourself succeeding and making a lot of money through forex trading? And this is where the disconnect would automatically be obvious, because 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 forex schools, coaches, trainers would not be able to show you proof. Now, so in light of the lack of proof, what is the value of that whatever, right? $55 training, $60 training, $70 training. What is the value? You will have to question the value. And that's my point, you see. Because if you keep going on live, not understanding how to ask the right questions, how do you become successful? And that, to me, I want to share with you a little bit about the mindset part. Number one, it starts with the attitude. If your attitude is cheap and good, I want the lowest cost possible, well, number one, you probably wouldn't be here, would you? Okay, you probably wouldn't be here. So The fact that you are here listening to me, well, you probably have a better attitude than the masses out there, because I trust that you're more discerning than the masses out there. But it's having the right attitude that plays such a big part to one's financial success. There's a huge correlation between having the right attitude and financial success. But let me talk about the next thing, which is belief. There are a lot of people who may have the right attitude, but they don't have the right kind of belief. When I say belief, I mean belief in yourself, belief in the system that you're using. I mean, look here. I'm not sure whether you know this or not, but I just flew my little jet from Singapore all the way to the US. Of course, not non-stop for sure. No, I stopped in 10 different countries, and because these are all very, it's a long journey, and we had to stretch the range of our jet. And how the jet works is that you fly very high, as high as possible, to optimize your fuel consumption, so that you can fly a longer distance, because again, my objective is to get into the US. And therefore, every single flight, we filed for at least flight level 390, or layman's term, 39,000 feet or 40,000 feet. That was our typical height we were flying. Imagine this, and a small jet that can fit 6 people flying at 39,000 feet. Well, let me tell you what happens at 39,000 feet. The typical TUC is something that we learn when we do high altitude flying. It's called time of useful consciousness. So what happens is this: in the event of a decompression, which means the windows broke or the door broke or something happened and air from the outside came in, we have, at 39,000 feet, I believe, we have less than 12 seconds to don our oxygen mask. And the failure to don the oxygen mask and breathe oxygen in the event of a decompression would almost mean certain death. Almost mean certain death, because we will be rendered unconscious within 12 seconds, and there will be ghost pilots flying the plane itself. Risky, yes, but our belief in the aircraft, in our pilot training, is so strong that it does not scare us from flying at that kind of altitude in a small private jet. That's my point to you. Whereas I'm sure there are aviators out there who would never dare, maybe. They love flying, but they probably won't dare, or they are afraid to fly at that kind of altitude in a private jet or in a private plane, because if something goes wrong, well, you will see the heavens open up, the heaven doors open up. So the belief is important, my friends. When I founded Pitch Advisor, I needed to have a strong belief, even if no one else believed. I needed to be strong to believe that this was a business I could take from zero, make it profitable, and even potentially exit at hundreds of millions of dollars. Without that kind of conviction, I wouldn't be able to persuade my other comrades to join me in this journey. Belief is that important, especially in absence of financial success yet. And that's the thing that most entrepreneurs do not seem to be able to, or most amateur entrepreneurs don't seem to understand, that in absence of financial success, because you're building a website, because you're doing your SEO, because you're doing your keyword research, does not mean that you're doing something wrong. But the absence of financial success, coupled with a weak belief of the system of yourself, would more than likely cause you to quit. And when you quit, the day you quit is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And you end up totally down and out, that you possibly may not be able to recover. So I want to tell you, my friends, that you need to have a strong belief. And the way we have a strong belief, so going back to my jet, for example, how do I have a strong belief that my jet will hold up at 39,000 feet all the way to the US? Well, I have statistics, and I suggest you do the same thing as well. So we look for proof. We look for positive proof. Same thing, how do we know that a Forex school is going to, by learning the things that they teach us, regardless of the course fees, we're going to succeed? Well, look at the proof. So use a concept known as the preponderance of proof. Preponderance in the English language means an abundance, overwhelming, overflowing proof for you to remain steadfast in your belief. So for me, back to my jet story, I fly a jet known as the Eclipse jet. There are about 250 jets, similar jet, exactly the same, flying all over. And so far, we have not had a single fatality in the history of this jet and the company. There hasn't been a single fatality due to decompression or due to airframe failure or whatever the case is. There were 2 fatalities, but I think there was 1 fatality, I believe, recently, but that was probably due to pilot health condition, but not the aircraft. See, so I have statistics that tells me this aircraft has a 0 fatality rate, 0 instances of problems at 39,000 feet. Why do I need to be afraid? And I therefore hold true to my stats and strengthen my belief. For you, same thing. You come to a class, Real Internet Secrets, for example. You know that we have a preponderance of proof. Our students, people like Chen Yong, makes a lot of money every month using the same methods that you are using. Andrew Cole makes a lot of money using the same methods that you're making. I have many, many, many other proof, by the way, that I'm going to review shortly at the event, the Wealth Millionaire Summit, because people need to see the preponderance of proof. Next, decisiveness. Friends, you can have the right attitude, you can have the belief. I believe about something, but until you decide, your life ain't gonna change one bit. I think you understand that. Yes, you make the decision to embark on internet marketing, but have you started on your project? If not, what are you waiting for? The decisiveness is not just to start on the project, by the way. The decisiveness is to go out there and succeed financially. So your decisiveness is important, not just at the start, but all the way through in everything that you're doing. I mean, look here, Page Advisor wasn't built overnight in one day. But we have been steadfast in our belief. We have continued to be decisive, to do certain things at a certain point in time to grow the business, whether we have funding or we have no funding, whatever the case is. But our decisiveness is absolutely resolute. We know what we need to do and we go out there and do it. And of course, I'm blessed to have amazing co-founders like Chen Yong, who's the chief of marketing, whom has a never say die attitude, of course. Goals and deadlines. So this is the last component in my mind that you want to have. Again, there's no point that you're a great starter because you decided to start, but you're a bad finisher. Many people, when they attend seminars, conferences, or events, get charged up to the point where they could be decisive, and I applaud them for that. But the problem is that they don't back up their plan of action with firm goals, with firm deadlines, with key performance indicators. Look at it this way. Some of you would have decided to embark on internet marketing. Guess what? We are now in month 9. We are ending month 9. We are about to start month 10. Have you met your goals that you set out to achieve this year? Or have they just passed without you knowing what's happening? So, to be successful, goals and deadlines need to be part of your system. Page Advisor cannot just exist and float in cyberspace. No, there's no way that we can just survive without growing. And to grow, we need deadlines, we need goals, we need KPIs to get to the next milestone, because Page Advisor as a startup, as you know, will require continuous funding all the way up because it's a startup. There's a cost of user acquisition and all these things. So if you can just recalibrate what I mean by mindset with these 4 attributes, I believe you would be in a better position to maximize your mindset score. Then there's, of course, system. Now, you will see that I give system a 30% weightage, and I'm already being very generous. A system is obviously important. You could have a top mindset. Your mindset could, for example, be 70%. You've attended Tony Robbins, T. Harv, and everybody out there, and you're totally charged up. But of course, you're clueless without a system, isn't it? It's so difficult to move forward, especially when it comes to wealth creation. And that's where the system comes in. The system is 30%. And to me, I like to keep things simple. To me, a system is either you build or you buy. End of story. There's no in between. Either you build or you buy, which means either you invent or you embrace. And for the life of me, I don't understand why people want to build. Why? I mean, like, why do you want to build? Well, because you're a cheapskate and you don't attend a class, and therefore you want to figure out your own system. I mean, there are tons of people hanging out on forums, whether it's an internet marketing forum, a forex trading forum, a stock trading forum, whatever. You see, if there wasn't an ability to buy, then obviously you build. I mean, Page Advisor, as a perfect example, I couldn't buy, so I'm building. But if I had a subsystem, for example, if I could find a system that acts like an Uber, like a Google map that tells my customer when is our supplier arriving in their house and the route they're taking. If I could buy that, I would buy it. I mean, buy doesn't mean just pay cash, but buy could mean lease. So yes, of course, we do use submodules. We lease submodules to be able to move much faster. Of course, if we could. But the core of Page Advisor doesn't exist, so we had to build. We had no choice. But you guys have a choice. I mean, you want to make money, and there are millions of people who make money, isn't it? Why do you want to build? That's my question to you or to someone else. Ask the right questions, embrace the system, apply the knowledge in the system, and go out there and succeed. That is, in my opinion, the fastest way to success, really. If you know a faster way, let me know. Well, a faster approach, and the only thing that I know that's faster than what I've mentioned, seriously, very seriously, is to marry someone rich and inherit the wealth. I know you're laughing because you're too old and you have already used up that one bullet. Well, too bad for you. Plan out ahead for your children next time then. Yes, I mean, if you can inherit, hey, why bother even listening to me right now, right? And system is all about implementation. It's about not just a system per se, but it's all about how you implement. No point having the best system that you're not implementing. And of course, it's all about implementing it correctly. Let's move on. So now let's talk about the online marketing ecosystem. I'm just going to give you a broad overview. Obviously, we don't have the kind of time to talk about that. And as I said, if you want to know more for sure, then the Wealth Millionaire Summit is the best platform for that. Traffic. The lifeblood and the beginning of all of online marketing opportunities lies in your ability, your innate ability to assess crowds who are interested in your product or service. That is the basic opportunity that exists on the internet. And therefore, what I'm saying is that it is going to be difficult for you to make a very comfortable living online if you're not strong in traffic generation. Let me just list out to you the known traffic generation methods. That's direct. You see, the big brands like Apple and Samsung don't really need to do the SEOs or the Facebook ads because they already spend billions of dollars building their brand in the offline world, we call this. Such that if someone wants to buy a MacBook Pro, well, they just go to the Apple website. Well, of course, the truth is that most people don't really know the URL of Apple itself. I mean, yes, it's apple.com, but how about Singapore? And it's apple.com/SG, and we don't really bother about that. But that's where the search engines come in, isn't it? A lot of people use Google as a bridge to their final destination. And I do the same thing as well. I don't really type in the URL necessarily. I can go to Google, but it's as good as direct traffic because the intent of the person was to go direct to the website. Now, of course, another way is to bookmark a URL and get there directly or type in the URL. Whatever the case is, my point is that direct traffic is the highest quality traffic because it is the kind of traffic that already know you and trust you. And this has to do with brand recognition and brand awareness. So ideally, when you're building a business long term, you want to build brand awareness and you will see the benefit in the increase of direct traffic to your website. And direct traffic also has the highest quality because you're likely to monetize far more per direct user than the rest of the indirect traffic out there. Then there's the mailing list, or what we call traffic on demand. My businesses online are largely built and grown through the mailing list. I don't talk a lot about this, but any business that wants to grow needs a mailing list. Apple has their own mailing list, Samsung has their mailing list, every large company has their mailing list. Singapore Airlines has a mailing list. So don't just blindly listen to what a lot of the futurists talk about when it comes to email is dead and all this kind of crap. Let me tell you this categorically, email is not dead. Yes, email open rates are probably falling, but email is not dead. Email is still relevant and important for me in the foreseeable next decade. It's still going to be important and relevant. Unfortunately, SMS hasn't caught up, not because we don't have the technology to do that, but because many countries have privacy laws that prevent you from using SMS as a marketing tool, unfortunately. But we have the technology, by the way, to send you an SMS automatically triggered by some event. Unfortunately, because of the privacy laws in most countries, Singapore, for example, Malaysia, and so on and so forth, SMS becomes unfortunately a weak way to reach out to prospects. But can SMS be used for customers? Absolutely, and that's my point. I want you to know that SMS is still a very important tool for customer communication. So for Page Advisor, for example, we have to use SMS to remind customers that their appointment is upcoming. If someone registers for our marketing event or marketing workshop, we are going to be using SMS to remind them, because we know that the reach for SMS and the deliverability is extremely high. Unfortunately, you can't use it for mere prospecting. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of people known as bloggers who use blogging as a means to drive traffic. I think blogging is okay, but the problem is that blogging is very personality driven. You need to have a certain kind of personality, a certain kind of depth of knowledge in a specific area, and in the worst case, you need to know how to express yourself well, whether through words, through audio, through video, through images. And well, not everybody has that kind of talent. So I typically don't prescribe blogging per se as a method to make money, because it's very independent and it's very talent driven at the same time. I like the type of methods and systems that anyone can learn, apply, and succeed. Now, of course, you know that my number one friend is still Google, largely because my Google organic strategies, when I implement them, use me far higher ROI than any other channels out there, including Facebook, by the way. Google's organic strategies, if you apply them, we're talking about SEO, by the way, has number one, long-term sustainability in visibility, the search engines, if you do it properly. And unlike Facebook that throttles your organic reach, by the way, Facebook is famous for that. Google cannot throttle your organic reach, but Google is largely demand driven. And therefore, you still want to keep your eye out on Google and maintain proficiency in both search, paid search, as well as SEO or organic search. Now, of course, there's still the rest of the social channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, the famous four, and they both have organic and paid reach. And if I were you, as an entrepreneur, as an online marketer, I would certainly investigate all of them, explore all of them, and I'll guide you towards getting to that level of proficiency in the next coming webinars. Not a problem at all, because different channels have a different fit for purpose. I want you to also know this. So, as I said, in the cake example, anything visual and pretty, I would use Instagram, and I would test Instagram out definitely. Anything corporate, I want to reach out to a group of marketers, for example, business owners, I will use LinkedIn. It's the most efficient channel to go about achieving your objectives if you wanted to reach out to what we call the B2B people, the business owners. LinkedIn is going to be far more effective, really, than Facebook or Instagram would ever be. There's also media buy. We call them the ad networks. So a lot of people may not know this, but in Singapore, for example, you could put ads on Channel News Asia. You could put an ad on asia1.com, either directly or sometimes indirectly. If it's direct, it's called a media buy. And media buys are typically costly because you have to invest in a certain amount of money for your ad to show. Now, of course, you can also use other channels reach, like you can use a Google Display Network. So for a small budget, you would use Google Display Network to infiltrate into Channel News Asia, of course. Not the prime slots, but definitely Channel News Asia display Google ads, and wherever the channel displays Google ads, you can use Google Display Network to reach out to your audience as well. Then, of course, there's also the content networks like Outbrain, Taboola, Ref Content. Haven't spoken about a lot about it much. I will, of course. It's all about just fit for purpose for my business because I want to be teaching you real world stuff. But really, this is your menu of traffic sources. And my question is, number one, how much do you know about these traffic sources? Number two, how much are you implementing? How many of these traffic sources are you implementing? Not necessarily in quantity, but in terms of quality. If it's not quantity, it has to be quality for sure. But as you can see, the traffic ecosystem is huge. Now, let's look at the business models out there. So we have content publishing. So the bloggers are content publishers. When you write or you shoot a video and you share knowledge, or you develop games, for example, these all fall under the content publishing, or what we call the content creation model. Now, what I want to say as well is don't confuse yourself between the business model itself, whether it's content publishing, whatever, versus the monetization. Because not all bloggers get paid the same way, not all games monetize the same way, or video commercials as well. And that's why monetization is a standalone, because monetization is how you get paid, and how you get paid differs even for people that use the same model itself. Then there is the affiliate marketing model, which is literally marketing other people's product or service. That's really affiliate marketing. You're like a broker, you're like a middleman, and it's true to say, it's somewhat that Page Advisor is also pursuing affiliate marketing or promoting other people's products. But of course, the difference lies in the depth of the relationship that you build between between yourself and the vendor or merchant. That determines whether it's just a very loose affiliate model where there is no prerequisite, anybody can become and join and promote, or is it a closed door contract? So Amazon.com has an affiliate program, and that means anybody can go there and promote Amazon because they reward based on performance. So many performance platforms open up the opportunity to almost anyone. Excuse me. But there are certain platforms that do require you to have an audience base. Some of them even want to interview you and see evidence that you are a person of influence before they approve you. Then there is product marketing, which is actually similar to affiliate marketing. You could be marketing your own product, you could be marketing other people's product, but the difference here is very likely the compensation system. So if you are, for example, marketing a product or service exclusively, I would consider this as product marketing more than affiliate marketing. Because affiliate marketing really suggests that there's more than one person marketing the same product or service at any one time. So Amazon model is affiliate marketing because there are hundreds and thousands of people marketing the same product. But for example, if you approach a business owner and you make an agreement to market his furniture online, for example, well, that falls under product marketing because it's an exclusive arrangement. So yes, you are still marketing somebody else's product, but it's on an exclusive basis. And it makes a big difference, by the way, whether it's in an affiliate or it's exclusive. For me, I typically only put effort in when it is exclusive because that allows me to have focus my marketing, focus my differentiation. Very often, I enhance the product offer itself as part of my value add. And of course, I negotiate for a lucrative commission for sure. So I like exclusivity because it allows me to differentiate, add value, and I don't want to be adding value for a whole bunch of people. So the difference is quite substantial if you ask me. Then there is the local business marketing. And to me, this is literally where you are marketing local merchants, whether products or services. And of course, it requires you to be strong on local marketing techniques, and local SEO certainly does a fine job in this arena. But don't forget, there's also the agency, or otherwise known as the consultancy business, where you offer your expertise to other people on a consultancy basis. Now, again, how you get paid, we'll talk about that under monetization. So to me, in fact, for those of you who have knowledge, well, the consultancy route may be an area that you want to consider moving into, because I'm going to tell you this, I built a lot of my knowledge and expertise in the consultancy arena many years back, where I work with clients on digital marketing, SEO, paid search, because that's how you get the depth of knowledge. That's how you get the cause and effect, how you know that when you do something, something else happens. For many homegrown entrepreneurs, you don't run a Google AdWords campaign because you don't have money. I can understand that. But that's why you also want to explore the agency model, because there are large companies out there with tons of money looking for the right person to do their AdWords campaigns. So to me, money is a weak excuse for not taking action, because you can simply use your skills to guide someone else or some other business as a consultant, as an expert in digital marketing, and still make a very decent living. Again, if you are facing trouble in these areas, well, the good news is that I'm going to be tying in World Internet Academy with my agency business, which is called Click Media, and that's where the certification comes in, right? So I'm going to be offering people, including yourselves, a chance to work with us as a resource if you can show me that you're able to pass my certifications that I create for you. And this is how I'm able to build a database of highly skilled freelancers where we can give you the jobs, let you do it at the comfort of your own home, and let you make money with the skills that you already have possessed and built up. Because I know that a lot of people, or some of you here, are shy, you're not capable of speaking to clients and closing deals. But myself and my team can do that very well because we have very good qualifications. And if you can show me that you can do the work, then we can still work together. Okay, so I'm going to share with you my grand master plan during the Wealth Millionaire Summit. So take the effort to be there, because that's where it's all going to start. Then there's monetization. Monetization is how you get paid for your efforts. So the bloggers, well, what are they? They are publishers, I already mentioned to you. They are content publishers, content creators. So very loosely, they get paid by sponsorship, which it could be something like ad space. People are buying ad space on their website to kind of get exposure from the traffic that they receive. They also get paid, obviously, pay per click. So they join the Google ad network, put a Google code on your website, for example, and when someone lands on the website and clicks on those ads, they get paid on a per click basis. The same thing for the content networks. They can join Outbrain as a publisher, put the Outbrain code on your website and get paid if someone clicks on an Outbrain ad. There's lead generation, and typically lead generation is pay per lead. Sometimes it's pay per project, but it's better to have pay per lead because it's far more objective. And lead generation is basically paying for people to raise their hands and indicate their interest in wanting to know more about a particular product or service. Revenue share. So revenue share is a little bit different from lead generation. Revenue share is a pay per sale. So you only pay if you generate a sale. And this is probably the best model in a close partnership scenario where you're helping a business and helping market the business on the internet itself. Most business owners tend to be less willing to pay you for a lead, and they are generally very willing to help you to pay you for a sale, because they only pay you when they make money. Whereas in a pay per lead model, they are paying you for a lead which may or may not become a customer. Profit share is typically the term used between partners, business partners, and this is kind of like the holy grail of the concept of monetization, where I get paid when you make money, not just when you sell a product, but when the parties involved make money, they have a share of profits. So profit sharing is typically at the partnership level, is usually exclusive, and it is a great model to embark on, because typically we, meaning me and you guys, are typically the online marketers, and our partner is typically the product or service provider, isn't it? And therefore, if you were strong in online marketing, then instead of you having to create your own product, you just focus on marketing a product, except you don't have a product. And this is where you partner with someone who has the product. If you follow what I'm saying, then you understand that profit sharing can be very lucrative, but what's stopping a lot of people from getting that gain is proof. And this is where your portfolio comes in. So working backwards, assuming that you haven't started, or you're doing something, or you're doing some SEO, the key is actually not to make money. The key is to build a portfolio. Because once you have ranked websites where someone can type in a keyword and you're on page one, not even necessarily page one number one, although page one number one is quite sexy, by the way, of course, right? But imagine this, imagine you owned a website where someone could just go to Google and type in bus charter. And what if you own this website or you build this website, page one, number one? You understand? Whether or not this website makes any money is immaterial. The fact that when you are trying to push for a profit partnership or profit sharing, and you're able to substantiate your capability, in that case you're demonstrating SEO capability by saying, hey, I put this website on page one for bus charter. See, it also doesn't matter whether you own the website or not. You could have been an agency, you could have been a consultant helping someone build a website, getting their website ranked for SEO. But as long as you did the SEO work, you can now claim credit for the fact that this website is on page one, number one, because of your skill set. When you're able to do that, there is immediate buy-in. Now, of course, for profit share, to me, the strongest kind of proof is the proof of profit, isn't it? Profit sharing. So people are more likely to work with you if you're able to demonstrate that you have previously or still existingly continue to make other people a lot of money. So that the number one proof that you can ever acquire is a proof of profit. Many things for you guys to think about, my friend, because I want to guide you through the whole ecosystem, because I realize that many people do not see the whole big picture, and you're not able to dream big dreams and look at possibilities, because there's so many ways to monetize. There's so many ways to drive traffic. There's so many business models out there. And today, it was my intention to give you a glimpse of my ecosystem and how I see the world. And there's recurring subscription. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to market the World Internet Academy. And one of the attraction points is that we pay a percentage of monthly subscription commission to you for as long as that person remains a member. And that means that you can make some recurring income by working hard one time for this customer. So obviously in a recurring subscription model, your customer lifetime value is much higher because you're paid every single month for the lifetime value of the customer itself. Don't forget, there's still consultancy on or what we call being paid on a per project basis, being paid a fee, an agreed fee. The fee can be tied into your net worth, to your value, to your time worth. Many ways. Consultancy could be paid on a profit basis. So, and that's what I'm saying. Don't discount the agency or consultancy model, because that gives you a chance to be acquainted, to widen your network to potential prospects who will become customers and down the line become profit sharing partners. So you're inching your way in to a customer ecosystem. However you get in, through what methods, really doesn't matter. Now, having said and done, you will realize, number one, how massive the online marketing ecosystem is. And to be honest, the things I listed out is just basically off my head. I did not do any research. This is really how I see the ecosystem based on my experience and depth of knowledge. The real ecosystem is probably much larger, but I believe I've covered the more popular ones, the more intricate ones that online marketers would agree constitute the majority of traffic business models and monetization methods. But then there still lies a problem of, wow, where do I start? How do I build a business? The strategic thinking seems to be acutely absent, if you ask me, for many entrepreneurs who come up with bad ideas, bad projects, and would never have made a single cent and never knew that they would not make a single cent. And a perfect example is in a startup world. The startup ecosystem is laced with money flowing to bad ideas that would never make money, and either the founders and the investors are none the wiser. And that's why the startup ecosystem has the worst and the highest failure rate. My point is this: don't adopt trial and error. As I said, the fastest way, embrace the system, follow, succeed. If not, hold whoever you embrace the system from, hold the person accountable. Done. But what if you had to start from scratch? You know, you are thinking of the next page advisor. What is it that goes into my thoughts? I'm going to share them with you. The 5 critical success factors. Number 1, long-term sustainability. The reason why I set up Page Advisor is because I know that aircons will continue to break down. House cleaning will always be needed. It's a need, it's not a fad. If you deal with games, for example, well, games can be a fad, can be a one-off, could be a series. A movie can be a fad, or a movie can be a series. You know, like Fast and Furious is now version number 7. But you will realize that it is built and built and built and built and keep building rather than built once. Isn't it true? For every single movie, every single episode, they need the actors, they need to keep paying the actors and everything else. Of course, for them, it works out well because they make money with every episode that they release. But in business, it becomes tiring. So I go into the businesses that are more old school and where I see that in the long term, my customers will still have a need. So I look at long-term sustainability. Now, with regards to this, my comment to you is that's the reason why I am not a big fan of affiliate marketing. For the simple reason, even if you are marketing whatever, battery chargers, every day there's going to be a new battery charger being sold. And when that happens, you need to change links. You need to do new reviews because the review you did previously now becomes irrelevant. And therefore, really, a lot of affiliate marketing is like a job. You always need to keep updating stuff because things change. Because remember, you're always marketing somebody else's product and things change and you need to now rework and rewire. And that's the reason why I really don't see a lot of very, very successful affiliate marketers, because whatever they did 7 years ago, they would have had to almost reinvent 1 year later. Like Google used to allow Google ads for Amazon products as an affiliate. Then suddenly a couple of years ago, they stopped allowing that. And all the affiliate marketers who were using Google ads couldn't use Google ads. Those who only use Google ads saw their income fall to zero. So affiliate marketing is always tricky because, number one, unless you are able to build a quality website and deal with products that have a long-term need, it is difficult because you're going to end up, as I said, working, reworking, and that's a reality. Now, but is affiliate marketing sexy? It is sexy. Almost every newbie that I know of finds the lure of affiliate marketing. It sounds sexy because you do not need your own product, you do not need a website, you do not need this, you do not need that, you do not need a lot of things. Sexy. But is it sustainable? In my mind, I can tell you I see very little evidence of long-term sustainability. In contrast, look at what Jen Yong is doing. Jen Yong's business model fits all my 5 critical success factors. You will see it very shortly. Threat of competition. If you want to get in something for the long term, because we're all looking at long-term sustainability, you need to assess the threat of competition. Competition will exist. If it doesn't exist today, it's going to exist tomorrow. I'm starting to see a lot of Page Advisor clones of all sorts appear after 1 year since we have been in the business. Am I concerned with them? No. But I recognize their existence and push my team and myself harder to keep up, to keep ahead of everybody else. Because I know what it takes to win this game. But the general rule is that you don't get into a business to lose. You get into a business to win. And therefore, to win, you have to outlast and outmaneuver and outsmart the competition. My entire Real Internet Secret syllabus was designed to help you and teach you how to outsmart your SEO competitors. That's why it's such a powerful system if you used it correctly. Next, you want to think about the ability to automate, either partially or fully, your business along the way. Doesn't have to be at the beginning, but it should be something that you look at. And the way you go about doing this is to explore tools, productivity tools, systems that can help you automate, if not the entire business, part of the business. But people say, I can't automate fully. Well, actually you can. Because whatever you can't automate with an online system of sort, you can pay someone to do the human tasks and fully automate your business. So automation also involves human beings, my friends, not just robots, machines, or software or systems, including human beings. So what I'm saying is that the need goes a full circle for you to understand that human relationship is still going to be important in entrepreneurship if you want to automate it fully. Because you will need to be a good people person, you need to be a leader, you need to be a good boss, and for that you need to have some amount of interpersonal skills. So don't just go out there throwing away your interpersonal skills just because you're going to become an online marketer. Trust me, it's going to come back and bite you. Number 4, scalability. I asked this once in Vietnam to demonstrate the power of the internet. I said, if I wanted to start a coffee business in Vietnam, how many coffee outlets do I need to open? And I asked them, I said, 100? They say probably more than that. I say, okay, but if I wanted to do a coffee business in Vietnam and I use the internet, I just needed one website. And that's my point, that when you run a business, you need, of course, customers. The question is, how scalable is your business? How scalable is your online business even? That depends on how large your reach is, your potential reach of your potential customers. So the question is it possible to scale countrywide? Can you dominate to that point like what Chen Yong has done? Can you scale globally even, which means after what works locally, you will now scale it up internationally? Can you scale sideways? And that was what I said to the cake example earlier, right? That is perfect. Yes, you sell all the cakes, but why not bundle it with flowers, with chocolates, with toys? Because these are all incremental revenues. And these are the things you want to think about, my friends. And hence, I've been a big critique of apps that do fulfill single vertical problems. Whether it's an app for you to hire a maid, for example, or an app to search the best salon and spas. And the reason for that is because you really have to be massively scaling that kind of business for it to be profitable. What I mean is this: you need to take consideration number 5, which is customer lifetime value. If you only offered spa services, if you only offered maid services, you make one type of income. In Page Advisor, I offer 400 services. In other words, I have 400 more opportunities to sell you a service because I market 400 opportunities within the Page Advisor app. Because to me, that's the only way that I can recover my expenses, my operational costs. And one of the concepts that you at some point in time want to embrace, other than customer lifetime value, is the concept of positive unit economics. But let's roll back a little bit. Customer lifetime value refers to the total revenues you're earning from a customer for a period of lifetime, for a lifetime period. The period could be 1 year, for example. So to get the CLV, you basically accumulate the purchases and the purchases value over a 12-month period to be able to calculate how much is the average customer lifetime of 1 year worth. And you take that number and you subtract it from your customer acquisition cost, otherwise known as CAC. If your customer lifetime value, now not in terms of revenues by the way, in terms of profit, you need to take the CLV of the profit, how much you made from this customer, minus the amount that you spent on acquiring this customer. It gives you a positive unit economics, which means if it's positive, then your business has a long-term, scalable, sustainable potential. At the end of the day, it's all about math, my friends. If I make $3 in the first year and it costs me $2 to acquire a customer, then I make net of $1 per customer in my database. If I have 1 million of such customers, I make $1 million. That's essentially what the concept of positive unit economics is all about. Now, I know small-time entrepreneurs don't typically look at this type of matrix, but I implore you to consider these things because this is kind of my checklist that I refer to in considering what kind of business to build, what kind of business to get into. So now